Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this new series of Hearts of Iron 4. First of all, for those of you watching, you are probably expecting to be seeing some RimWorld right about now. However, a new update just came out, and I only learned about it as I was actually loading the game, which meant that all the mods and everything like that were destroyed. It basically just threw me for a complete loop. And in a bit of a panic, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to be able to stream on Saturday, so we're going to be doing Hearts of Iron today instead. So here we are. We did complete the Siam game and the Somalia game, and this left the Swiss, which is one of the other factions which were done in the latest update, and sound really, really quite cool. So I'm rather looking forward to that. The Swiss start off in a bit of a problem. They are basically stuck between four nations. Huzzah! Thank you, Charles, very much for the resub. Appreciate that. 3 months, nice. So yes, we can have relations with Germany, we can have relations with the French, the Italians, or the Austrians. My opinion of the Austrians in this game is they do nothing. They're actually kind of boring. Like I really wish that they tweaked their national focus tree a bit so they actually got involved in world affairs a little bit more than they do currently. So I'm not going to go with the Austrians, which basically leaves the Italians, the Germans, the French, or, and there is another option, to go it alone, which is like the ultra radical, super fascist, racialist, kind of horrific government form. So I'm really not sure, and considering my usual aversion to the syndicalist side, although actually there are a number of bonuses which the Swiss get which are in favour of going syndicalist. We could also do that, but really it's going to be between, I think, Germany or the enemies on all sides choice. So if we went with the Germans, we actually get a lot of efficiency bonuses. So we get, for example, army experience, max planning 20%, which I always like. Defense on core territory, organisation, attack on core territory, and then consumer stuff and technology and things like that for being in Middle Europa. And then the other option is enemies on all sides, where we basically have no allies, we close our borders, we don't trade with anyone, and basically just go super nationalist, which starts out in kind of a poor area, but then you do increase your political strength. So the national populists grow rapidly in strength, you get a bunch of free defenses and things like that, and also some recruitment upgrades for free. So it's kind of expecting you to run out of manpower, I think. Which it could well be, because we'll basically be at war on all different fronts. So, yeah, it's interesting. I know that everyone who plays as Switzerland tends to go as the enemies on all sides, but I kind of like the challenge. Like, I very often go German Alliance just because I really like how Middle Europa works. So I might well do that. I don't know yet. The other challenge that we have, of course, is Romandy could pull us into this war way before we're actually ready to wage it. Basically, the French demand a section of territory from us. We can either acquiesce or we can hope that Germany backs us up, in which case the Germans might well be on our side, even if we go nationalist. So I really don't know. Do we want to invest in our infrastructure? You know what? It already starts at level 6. We do get a couple of infrastructure focuses. I was having a quick look at all of this stuff before I actually started. So once we get over the economic downturn, we can actually get up to level, 8? Infrastructure essentially for free. So we could go and build 2 more infrastructure, or we could just start doubling down and getting as many military factories as we possibly could. Oh wow. That is some serious industry that we can get. I mean, this is without any technologies. We've got a 6688. That's really urban, and we could get a huge amount of industry here. Now, because we are such a small country, we probably don't need the infrastructure to actually finish all the military factories by the end of the game. But then again, that is pretty high limits. I think I'm going to build 2 more infrastructure. No, we're not. We're going to start working on military factories, and the reason for that is because we are going to need to build defences at some point, especially if we're going to go it alone. I'm still not 100% sure if that's what I want to do, but that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So let's go ahead and place a bunch of factories there in central Switzerland. We'll need to start producing some things. Do we have any special manufacturers? We have infantry equipment, which is soft attack and breakthrough. Soft attack, defense, and reliability. Oh, wow, that's a big boost. That's one of the biggest infantry boosts I've seen. And then infantry goods production. So that alone is saying it's potentially leaning towards superior firepower for the soft attack and the defense bonuses. And actually, superior firepower entrenched in the mountains with loads and loads of artillery could be quite potent. We have a decent medium tank. It's only decent, it's not great. Motorized. The artillery soft attack 15%. That is also a big upgrade. Usually it's 10%. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards superior firepower again. I can't believe I'm doing so much superior firepower. Whoever did this latest upgrade must have really liked their artillery. And then obviously we want small ship manufacture. I mean, we are the Swiss. So obviously we need a strong navy. Now I was actually bemused to see that there is a Swiss naval focus down here. It's like, why? Why is there a naval focus for the Swiss? Fortress Switzerland, yeah. I love how the literal fucking Alpine mountain range is more industrializable than the whole of coastal Portugal. That is true. So yeah, I think I'm leaning towards superior firepower. We're just going to have massive amounts of artillery. And for this, we'll probably maybe have some rocket artillery as well. So we could get artillery and medium tanks. So the medium tanks are what we're going to use to like bust through. And then the artillery are just what grinds the enemy down. With Alpine units, of course. I'm going to have to see if we get a commando upgrade or not. Our Air Force doesn't seem particularly strong. In fact, the Air Force seems downright rubbish. So we're not going to bother investing too much in that. Mass combat is infantry, defense, and attack, which could be quite good. Organization could also be good. Although we tried to go with high organization... Oh, here we go. Artillery, attack, and defense. Yeah. Yeah. You don't go to the fascists. Oh, hang on. Popular... What were they called? National Populists. We can't actually recruit either of these with the National Populists. So it would have to be mass combat or psychology for the National Populists. So that's going to be a little bit limiting. And then Chief of Army, Armoured Spearhead, Organisation, Defence, Consumption, Defence Attrition, Paternal Autocrat, no, National Populist. So that's an organisation. I would kind of like to have one of the defence guys if possible. You're probably the strongest. Division defense, attrition, and entrenchment speed. Although entrenchment's really for ground battle plan or mass combat. I think we'd go for the division organization supply consumption. It's actually kind of annoying that... Well, unless we hire this guy before we switch to national populist, so we could just get this really early on. I think we can still keep it. It won't just boot him. I think. If you went with the Germans and got the 20% planning boost, you'd be super OP hybrids between superior firepower and ground battle plan. True. And in fact, if I joined the Germans, I could help Germany actually survive. Especially like the opening years of the war. You keep them if you change ideologies. I kind of like going national populist. Okay, so the national focuses we start with are, national spirits even. Swiss neutrality, justify war goal time, yeah, that makes sense. Aktivdienst, which is division training time and then recruitable population. So our troops will take longer to train, but we get more of them. And then national unity, syndicalist support, radical socialist support, and totalist support. Is there a way of getting rid of memories of Geneva? I mean, I know with the French ones you can actually double down on it. With this, replace it with honouring them. And... I'm not actually seeing a way to get rid of them. At least not that way. So Geneva can, the socialists can modify it to make it more positive, The others can't actually get rid of it. This new patch has made the Germans stronger. Yeah, I know. Look at that. Expand our intelligence. Nope, that's just the military intelligence service. So is that? No. And we can go all of these. So it's either Panzer Grenadiers, which is mechanized, or medium tanks. Extensive conscription with service by requirement. Yeah, there are a lot of ways of getting additional manpower. Like this one's also changed to service by requirement. Division speed, entrenchment speed, mountain divisions. I'm kind of gutted that there are no mountaineer bonuses. May also be event-based, may also be referendums. Yeah, true. Because we do have a bunch of those referendums as well. Alright. Well, I think for the national focus we need to go to issues of the day. And just get that one done. 70 days, we get 100 political power for doing it. That sounds good. And then technology is the fairly standard opening. And technology. This is probably going to have to be infantry equipment and artillery, seeing as that's what we're going to be doubling down on. I'm pretty sure that we will go superior firepower. So we're going to be using the extra defense bonuses and also the really strong infantry upgrades. And we're just going to be super, super defensive. Although, as Somalia, we discovered that a lot of the infantry stuff doesn't seem to affect mountaineers. Like these leg infantry bonuses. Oh, they must do, because we had really high organisation. Yeah, I don't really understand how we sucked so much with Somalia. If we suck again as Switzerland using the same tactics, then I know that there is going to be something up with that. Alright, all of... Oh, geez. You all suck as well. Do we have any good commanders? Level 3 Hill Fighter. Level 3 Mountaineer. Level 2 Winter Specialist. Yeah, okay, we have good commanders. Oh, Mountaineer and Hill Fighter. Jakob Huber. We're going to need to upgrade you a little bit and get you some combat experience, but you stand to be very, very effective. So I think I'm actually going to put you in command from the very, very start. Hey, Fiddler's Reach. I think that'll be a worthwhile way. Beef up the speed. And here we go. In fact, one other thing I want to do very, very quickly, in the spirit of not having done this for quite a long time, is... I'm sure you can't guess what's coming here. Right. National Populist or Mitteleuropa. Those are your choices. I'm not going socialist. We're very, very anti-socialist here. Those bloody... what were they called? 5 years ago today, the workers of Geneva began major industrial action demanding social and economic reforms, which threatened to spread to the rest of the French-speaking Western Switzerland known as Romandy. Yeah, we're not doing none of that. The state of Switzerland. The Swiss Confederation saw a crisis in the 19th century. In several cantons, liberal powers prevailed, calling for more democracy and more centralism. This met the opposition of the Catholic, conservatively dominated cantons who formed the Sonderbund in 1845. The Sonderbund War erupted in 1847, which saw the liberals as victors. In 1848, a federal constitution was ratified, turning the loose League of Cantons into a federal state with a new federal capital in Bern. The new constitution created new institutions and the Bundesrat, the Federal Court, the Bundesversammlung, the Federal Assembly, and the Bundesgericht, the Federal Court. Switzerland remained neutral throughout the Weltkrieg, although there were various domestic conflicts between the German and the French-speaking Swiss citizens. In addition, economic problems arose, completely surrounded as the country was by warring nations. The radical left gained a lot of support during that time, and in 1919, a strike in Geneva called for by the workers' movement attempted to push through major social changes. The attempt failed because of the fear of spreading French syndicalism and its subsequent repression by the Swiss government. But in its wake, social reforms were begun, bringing together higher wages and shorter workdays. In 1919, the system of proportional representation was introduced. The conservative Freisinniger lost their majority while the Social Democrats grew in power. Into the 1930s, domestic politics were governed in response to the conflict between Social Democrats and the Conservatives. The struggles between communities in Switzerland are now taking more political values. French speakers are more socialist, Germans are more conservative, and Italians more clerical. Will the rising belligerence in Europe have consequences on the neutral confederation? Onwards! And how are the results shifting up? Oh, that's actually unexpected. Interesting. Okay. I mean, we're going to wait until the first referendum things come in. But based on those results, it's quite clearly going in one direction. So if anyone else wants to get involved in that straw poll right now, then I would recommend you do so, because this could still technically go either way, although it is going in surprising ways already. Or maybe it's just the way that I phrased the question, which is also possible. You have to be very careful about how you phrase questions in surveys. Okay, so we have a lot of infantry who are out. I actually want to have a quick look at our template. So you're a 9 with recon. We do have engineers, we do have support. You're just infantry. So what I'm kind of tempted to do is just straight up upgrade all of you lot to mountaineers right now. And we're just going to start with an army of mountaineers. They will need to be trained, but at least they're going to be trained from scratch now, which I think is a good idea. Okay, good. So Britain's thingy has happened. Kerensky is dead. And I think the other thing I want to do is not making any assumptions about which direction we're going or anything here. We're just going to, like, have our troops running training exercises. Of course, that's exactly what we're doing. Training exercises. Alright. So we got you guys improving now. We're really short on equipment. Black Monday has happened. 4,000 guns short because mountain units are really, really expensive. So hopefully we can get a couple of these military factories up and running pretty quickly, although this is going to take a while. Black Monday hits Switzerland. The recent run on the Berlin Stock Exchange is not without consequences for Switzerland. The Swiss economy relies heavily on German trading, and the collapse of the German markets has sent immediate shockwaves through the Swiss economy. We must act if we are to save our economy from total collapse. Minus 50% construction speed. That's one of the softest effects of Black Monday I've ever seen. There's no factory output penalties or anything like that. It's just construction speed. I mean, obviously we still want to get rid of it. But I do wonder if just getting the reverse economic downturn will get rid of it. Maybe not, though. Artillery research time reduction. Soft attack increase. Breakthrough increase. Is that a national spirit? No, it's a manufacturer. Oh, we need to do this to get that amazing manufacturer. I see. As much as I would love to have that plus 30% of it. Oh, it's only for just over a year. No, war profiteering all the way. We get 3, 5 military, 6 military factories getting that. Although I guess we get a bunch of civilian ones going this way. Requires both of those, yeah. So that would be 1, 3, 4, 6. But all of the other ones we can actually get. So it's basically between 7 military factories or 6 civilian. But this we get the artillery bonus, so I think we want that. It's already available, the Focus just gives it to you for free. Oh, it's that one. You are indeed correct. And then we do have our Brown Boveri, who increases construction speed further. So we may well want to get that, but I think we need to lock in the artillery general soon. So we may well do that first. Like as soon as the issues of the day are finished. Thankfully we are earning a little bit of political power. Although I suspect that the referendum is going to cost us political power. How is the straw poll looking? Okay. Still changing a little bit. Like the results have shifted. Not a huge amount, but they have shifted. How's the training coming? Okay, so we have a couple of the regular Alpine divisions now fully trained, and the other ones that I just switched over belatedly are getting there. Thought for a minute he had a shield on his back. I was like, what? That can't be right. No, it's just a backpack. Remilitarization of Olitania, and we have completed issues of the day. Excellent. So at this point we can start doing the various referenda. Or we could fix our economy. Combat economic crisis or reverse the economic downturn. Oh, that requires effects of Black Monday. So I'm wondering if we got this one before then. No, we wouldn't be locked out of it, surely. Let's grab you first and then go the other way. And get the referendum done. It's a shame you don't have focuses for chocolate and cheese like the Colombians with coffee. True. We'll just stay here in our mountain selling chocolate to all the belligerents. It's a good idea. Peace through chocolate. Victory through cheese. First International Congress. Syndicalists are doing a little bit of saber rattling. Oh, there were divisions with artillery. Ah. Because you, of course, have none. So we might actually have some artillery in reserve. We do. How many would we be short if we added artillery? 109. Right, and we are producing artillery. So there is that as well. Darned polls wouldn't let me vote twice. Oi! Tisk, 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 tisk. Shouldn't be voting twice. Union Nationale rally. Earlier today, French syndicalist radicals, the Union Nationale, held a rally in the streets of Geneva against the willful suppression of the Swiss workers by the government. While such a fringe rally would normally be of no concern, the sheer amount of people in attendance has caught the government's eye. Thousands of people were in attendance, seemingly hanging on every word of the main speaker, Georges Outremer. It seems that the syndicalist sentiment is more prevalent in the West than we previously thought. No! Stop costing me political power! How actually are our leaders? They are pretty good, actually. Yeah, our ministers are decent. Hopefully they'll stick around. What government are we? Are we liberal? We are currently market liberal, and I don't think there's any way of that surviving, is there? Oh, I guess if we joined Germany, it probably would. Yeah, I don't think any of these changed how they felt about us. Switzerland presumably diversified their economy to the point of a single good is not really relevant to them, unlike agrarian Colombia. Yeah, maybe. Oh, we finished some technology apparently. My bad. And I would like some more technology, please. And then we're going to need to have at least one of those on doctrines, because doctrines are going to mean quite a lot to us. I'm still a little bit concerned by just how weak our units are. Okay, so we're all now trained status, and we can get up to regular. Mark Leak declared on Mongolia. Alright. How are we doing for factories? We still haven't built any. Are any getting built yet? Yeah. It's just really, really, really slow. Oswald Mosley declared chairman of the TUC. That couldn't possibly be bad. Although that means that the Union of Britain's going to be a little bit more interventionist than they otherwise could be. And it's not Nikki Glace, which means they're not doomed. They really need to do something to make Nikki Glace less bad. Like, if they get him, then you just know, okay, UOB is gonna fall. Reverse the economic downturn has been completed. So we could continue down the economic line and gain a bunch more factories. Or we could start working on those. Or some of these. Yeah, I don't think we want to go for the Air Force just yet. That's production efficiency. That's pretty good. Construction speed. That modifies the effects of black money. Oh, that halves the effects.